Hi Changemakers, my name is Charbel and I want to talk to you today about failure and how it can really put you on the right track. In fact, failure has helped me more than I could have ever imagined. I'd like to tell you more about it, so here we go. 8 years ago, I graduated from university with a degree of software engineering. Then went off to start my career working as a mobile application developer with a leading telecom company in the region. Working on many apps from idea stage to delivery. Although I loved my role and I consider it as a major accomplishment, I really wanted to do my own thing. So, you see, I've always had a passion for software creations and spearheading new projects, so creating solutions inspired me and a colleague to start our own startup, a mobile consultancy platform. Motivated to start our startup, we found ourselves working every day after hours and weekends for 6 months. On the 7 months, we had consultants on the platforms. Seeing customers buying your services motivates you. Sometimes you feel bulletproof and invincible. I thought I could take on the world, so I started a new job. While still working on my startup, to a venture capital firm, working on incubations, startup assessment, investments, and creating in-house solutions. This convinced me even more than the only thing I want to do ever was to make a difference by doing what I love and I care about. However, I was aware on how hard it is to be an entrepreneur on its own, let alone having another position to add to that. And if you think that meeting your manager's deadline or demands is tough, try meeting your own, especially when your personal savings are on the line. It is stressful, it's never ending. When you're an employee, you can leave your work behind when you go home, but when you're launching your own business, it's frustrating. You never know what's around the corner. You can plan to spend the day working on a product development only to find out that you have to repair something that came apart. I felt the fear of failure many times, coming on strong. From my previous experience as a co-founder, the workload was intense, especially during the early stage. We were a team of 2 people having the role of a CEO, CTO, whatever, CFO, sales, marketing, and even a janitor. Unfortunately, the truth was that our startup ended up by a failure, and I felt that feeling hit me like a tons of bricks. We couldn't guarantee back then. The problem was interactions, and the point that we didn't work hard to communicate the idea, to contribute, to support and get supported by the ecosystem, the startup ecosystems. So back then, the failure was proof to us. So when it comes to a failure, you should allow yourself to feel the fear. Go home, think of the lesson learned, share your failure with your friends, your family. Start planning on how to overcome whatever challenges you have passed through. In my opinion, if you don't fail, then you might be too scared to take the proper risks and possibilities to do something great, therefore not developing the practice of decisions. If you think that you can make a difference, it requires commitment. If you are a pro, you go to work, and that puts you in your head that this is what you do. Because if you don't do the work steadily every day, like an athlete going to a gym, if you don't act on the ideas, if you don't integrate them, if you don't show some self-discipline, no idea will work. So you lesson learned. You have to do the work. For me, the first key to success is not to beat yourself up, but to allow your failures to happen. Admit them, learn from them, and use those as lessons when it comes to trying again. So for me, always being yourself first, find the right team, the right people, then the execution, to take some new actions, start thinking of new thoughts, start having new conversations, have the guts to clean up some of the things that is not working and install a new rituals that will work. Talking about the present, first I want to thank DOT Lebanon for giving me the opportunity to work on an in-house incubation social enterprise. As most of you know, that DOT is a change maker in empowering youth with digital skills. They recently trained around 3,000 of the youth, focusing on women from marginalized community all around Lebanon. With the support of UNICEF, funded by the Embassy of Netherlands, we took an initiative to help youth make benefit from the digital skills they acquired by creating BOT. BOT is a building opportunity today, a social responsible outsourcing platform. Its main goal is to motivate women and youth by ensuring digital work opportunities. As I mentioned earlier, that one of the things that I failed in was communicating the idea, contributing and supporting the ecosystem. Today, with DOT's insight and contacts, we start by supporting our partners, organizations, and startups with free services in a way that the youth will start generating money, and then we aim, which is our aim, and then it serves in communicating the idea to equally distribute digital work to employ the youth with the lack of opportunities that they have. If you ask me about challenges, I can say that convincing organizations, startups, and businesses to outsource their work to vulnerable youth while having the same quality and a lower cost. On the other hand, working on the youth to create like a freelancing mindset on how to abide to the timeline, deliveries, and sometimes we look forward to achieve this challenge. So thank you for your time, and if you have questions, please, I'm reading. Okay, so hi Sharon. Have you had mentors? Do you find out valuables of entrepreneurs to have mentors? Yeah, of course. Like, mentors are really important in the startup world. So we always start having mentors related to what is the challenge. If you say, now we're going to create a business plan for us. So we always seek mentors related to this specific service. And then those mentors can help us a lot in achieving, or let's say in overcoming our challenges. So of course, like, we have mentors. Thank you guys. Okay, who are my mentors? Some of my mentors are my friends, actually. Friends that help you a lot with your mindset, and then they help you how to tackle your problems. Because most of the entrepreneurs their problems are personal. So you could have lots of personal problems that you need to solve. And other mentorships, like I won't do an ad for them, but they are professional mentors. Okay, more questions. Okay, Joseph, how challenging is to introduce a new concept that connects both the public and the private sector? Actually, it is a new concept. A social enterprise is newly introduced. But if you look for like the giant companies, they all shifted into the communities. So all of their services are today helping communities, and it becomes popular. Even if you see like companies, they have a social responsibility, and it's growing. And what we're doing is same as a business, and it is actually a business. But in fact, helping the community is the core of this business. So of course, having both public and private sector in a concept is today a trend. Okay, which successful entrepreneurs inspire you? Actually, there is in the region many successful entrepreneurs. There is one of them, I won't name them, but one of them is the entrepreneur of Aramex. He's now he's a Jordanian. He founded many startups, more than Aramex. He even invests in startups and support a lot of them in the region. So yeah, there's even more startups. Okay, what inspires you to make an impact on your community rather than have? Okay, so thank you, Sharon. I think that what inspires me is the impact. when you see the youth, when you see them work, when you see the initiative that they have and the motivations that they give, when you show them that they can really have work, a decent work, and even a flexible work that they can have while studying, you cannot stop working. Like, you go further to bring them more work to achieve, and you literally, like, they motivate you. So mainly having an impact is the most thing, like, I look forward. Any more questions? What worries you moving forward after the bot prototype phase? A good question. What actually worries me every time is the next step. Like, the next step is always what we look forward to. So we plan always for the next step. And for me, it's always a challenge, and it will be always frustrating to look forward to what is next. So I think that planning, preparing, having the right people around you, and execution is what I look for. So this is it. Any advice for new social entrepreneurs? Okay, the advice for me is, first, to communicate the idea. Second is to talk to all social entrepreneurs, even if they are doing the same thing, because everyone needs supports and the market is big enough for everyone. So I think that to work on a social enterprise is to help each other to achieve a bigger impact.
How can you measure it?
Okay, how can you measure your impact as social entrepreneur? Mainly measuring impacts is like, we set metrics. We start with metrics. Like, we say that we need to achieve work for, let's say, 1,000 youth in Lebanon. So we start setting metrics on how to achieve this. So we go first with the skills of the youth that we have. Second, we go for what is the market need. So when trying to match this need with the supply that we have, with the youth skills that we have, we start measuring this impact. And this impact is not like something that you can measure in numbers, but at least you can measure it as long as you planned for how many projects or how many youth you can achieve. And then our biggest impact would be employment. So when we achieve employment for the youth, when we match them with the private sector or organization, and then they achieve employment, this is the biggest impact we can do. Okay, Marianne, working with youth and bot, did it give you new perspectives, insight, change in your plans? Yeah, of course. Like, when we started, I didn't believe in the skills that the youth have. Like, coming from marginalized communities, you don't expect them having skills, or you don't even inspect them that they could achieve. So when we went into the trainings that they have, like, I had a shock in this. But when I saw the youth that they didn't even saw a computer before, or a laptop, making mini softwares, making animations, it inspired me, and it gives me motivation to go forward into the private sector and start promoting the social enterprise that we're doing. Okay, you talked about the importance of failure and rising from the failure. What would you say is important characteristic as individuals should have to be able to continue despite failures? Good question. Okay, so the importance of failure is that you learn in failing, and the important characteristic as individual we should continue. My passion is to create solutions, and failure won't stop me because I learn from it and I achieve more when failing because you learn new skills and you adapt to what you have as problems, and this is how like the way any entrepreneur like survives. So we all continue. Okay, there's other questions. This is a joke. Is a huge budget and communication needed to launch a startup? Actually, launching a startup needs a lot of communications, need even a lot of marketing, because if you don't spread the word, no one will know about you. So you need to start bootstrapping the communications in terms of when you have a startup, you need to bootstrap everything. Like you need to cover all the roles in the startup. But communication is a biggest success for any entrepreneur. Thank you, Rashad. Okay, how do you use social media to run your social enterprise? Okay, actually we're planning to use the social media. First, social media is a key in promoting the services that we're providing. Even to inspire people, we're planning to have success stories. The people that works on bot should be sponsored on Facebook, and people should see that these people were on this level and they achieved this skill. And then we should even sponsor the clients, what we say, testimonials, because when you have great testimonials from clients, you should sponsor them, and this is how you can grow your business. So we will use social media on these two scales. Okay, Zenia, can you share with us some success stories during your pilot phase? Actually, during our pilot phase, like we've been working with clients 2 months ago. We had around today 42 youth providing work on bot, which is above our expectations. We had around 30 youth to work, and till now we have 42, and we think that we can achieve more than 50 youth till the end of this year. So for us, this is a big success. What is your advice so they can market their app? Okay, first, it depends on the app that they are doing. So for me, my app was in a consultancy. So my aim was to create a tailored app for well-known people, and those well-known people have communities. So to market anything, you need to go to communities. When the communities start spreading the word, you can achieve more impact, because everything related to social media today is communities. And when you achieve communities, you can achieve more people to know about your solution. So I think that they need to work with communities. Okay, tips to achieve success, Marianne. 3 tips. Okay, one of them is to motivate yourself every day, because if you don't motivate yourself, you won't achieve success. Second is to learn from people, because if you don't learn with people, if you don't cooperate, if you don't have more thoughts to deal with every day, if you don't even negotiate and with your colleagues and even meet new businesses, I don't think you can achieve success. And the third one is to get out of your comfort zone, because like today I'm having a video call. I don't like to do this. Like I'm passive on social media, and this is how I stand out from my comfort zone. So I think standing out of your comfort zone is a big success too. Okay, Charbel Salib, how important is work delegation and how does it lead to success? Okay, Charbel actually is my colleague, and I have problem with work delegations because I like to work by myself and I like to handle all the tasks. And I recently started delegating things, and it is successful because you had a lot of time to think and to do strategies, and you can depend on the people that you work with and that you love. So delegation is a key, I think. Okay.
What are the inhibitors?
Okay. More questions. Trust is delegation, actually. True. Okay, more questions. Can you elaborate, Mira? I couldn't understand the question. Okay, you mean what are the obstacles in social enterprise? I think in Lebanon, the obstacle is that you don't have like a legal form of a social enterprise, which makes you between being an organization and the business, and this is not defined in Lebanon. I think this is like a key thing to solve. So this is the most challenge. Thank you, Sharon. Did you pilot in one specific area? Actually, we have covered most of the areas in the pilot phase. We still have one area that we're looking for to cover it. So mainly yes. Do you think that young women social entrepreneurs is a global value based and could be change makers? Yeah, actually, I believe so, because more than 60% of our youth are women, and if I don't have this in mind, I won't be doing it. So, of course, I believe that women can be change makers. Thank you, Mira. Thank you, guys. Okay, thank you for listening, and I hope you can all achieve entrepreneurship skills and have your own startups and do great. So thank you for listening. Tell me. When will we launch? Okay. Mainly, I think that January is the launch, because we're planning everything to be first to be online to have our website online, to have our campaign starting on social media, and we're already having projects. We're already even talking to startups, and we have many people that have been taking as an internship even in startup, not even being as freelancers. So I think that January would be the launch, and I'm hoping to launch on January. Okay, thank you for watching, and if you have any comments on the video, please share it. I will reply to it later on, and thank you everyone. Bye bye.